Hello, travel biz owner. Welcome to my corner of the travel industry, the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. If you're ready to have fun, be inspired, get clarity, and take action in your travel business, then you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I apologize that I am 2 days late recording this than I normally am. I probably should have batched one last episode before I went sailing on a river cruise because little did I know I was going to come back with a vid. So I am currently in recovery and have been taking a couple days just down and relaxing and resting before essentially really going full swing. Which will be happening this weekend, funny enough. I will be attending the Las Vegas Travel Agent Forum with my friends over at Host Agency Reviews. So if you will be in Las Vegas, make sure to say hello. I'll be over at the Host Agency Reviews booth, promoing. Oh, maybe I don't want to say it, but maybe if you message me, I'll let you know what we're promoting. Outside of that, like I mentioned, am coming back from another amazing experience aboard Waterways, aboard this time their Viola ship, and this time I was heading to the Danube River, and I have not sailed on the Danube River since 2017, so it was really nice to get a refresher of the area and try out a couple things that I wasn't able to get to do last time, because really there's so many different options on river cruise lines that you can sail the same river multiple times and get a different experience. So there's still things that I haven't done, / there's other experiences that are kind of favorite experiences of mine that I would love to be able to do again when I go back on the Danube. So, but I was brought aboard sailing with Waterways this time to help fellow travel business owners improve their content, take better pictures while they're in destination. I also taught a masterclass on creating content for years to come, and moreover than being able to teach and mentor people in their marketing efforts, it's really just amazing to make incredibly wonderful new friends within the travel industry. So thank you, new friends, if you're listening on the podcast today. Today's topic, I was I'm not really sure where I want to go about. So I do keep a running list of ideas and things, but I was also kind of Canva Create just recently aired. I believe it was last week. I was not able to obviously watch live because I was sailing and doing all the different things that I needed to do to get work done aboard the Viola. But I just finished tuning in and testing some of the brand new features in Canva. And I was this is what we got to talk about. So if you don't know what Canva is, it is a tech platform. There's free versions, there's paid versions. Always start off with the free, and if you think you need more of the premium features, then of course go up to premium. But Canva is really for those people who, there's many of us who are not really graphic designers. It makes you look like a graphic designer. There are so many different tools. I have created business cards. I recently created a website with their platform, steeryourmarketing.com. P.S. I have created flyers, presentations. Any of my masterclass presentations that you attend with me are created through Canva, and I'm typically streaming them through Canva as well. So Canva is an amazing tool. I would say that Canva has really replaced a lot of the old Microsoft Word tools that I used, Word. Well, Google Docs has kind of replaced Word more, but PowerPoint, you can do presentations in Canva now. You can do some of these things in Google, but Google doesn't have the full branding and design capacity like a Canva does. And so if you want to create beautiful itineraries without an itinerary builder, if you want to create a presentation to pitch a group, If you already have secured a group and you're trying to get more sales into that group and need to make a presentation, if you need to make graphics to promote that presentation, if you have a speaking opportunity with a group of potential clients and you want to promote that, if you want to create a sort of design lead magnet, you can all do that within Canva. It is just amazing. A lot of what I do for my social media and marketing clients is that I create that short form vertical video. So Reels, YouTube Shorts, and all that. TikToks can also be done in that. So social media posts, any sort of asset that you need to market your business is really what Canva is going to be great at. So what exactly is Canva Create? Now, a lot of the tech companies have been doing like these big grand presentations of all like their new product suite and like the new features that they have coming out and available. I know ClickUp recently had that. Sorry, I didn't pay too much attention to ClickUp because it was also during a time where things were bananas. But Canva Create, I thought, would be like super helpful because I know so many of us within the industry use Canva probably on a daily basis, if not multiple times a day. And just some of the new features that they have are flippin' spectacular. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, for Canva's own branding, there is a lot that they are doing in terms of artificial intelligence and with design. But they don't really call it artificial intelligence because artificial intelligence is kind of like a little bit of a buzzword that they mentioned within this Canva Create presentation. And it doesn't effectively describe, like it describes what's kind of happening. But really, what artificial intelligence does is really create magic for you. And so a lot of their features that utilize AI, instead of calling it AI blah, 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 it is called magic blah, blah, blah. So if you have listened to me a little bit before when I compared Magic Write with ChatGPT, Magic Write is their form of AI doing copywriting. So there are a lot of different things that AI is coming out, unrolling to doing just to make things faster for you and not start from square one. It's essentially giving you the fast pass so that, and they mentioned this within their presentation, especially if you are creating a presentation, from going to blank screen to full out presentation just faster, because there are so many things that we are in charge of doing. If we could get a fast pass on things, wouldn't you want that? And so they talked about a lot of different features. So I'm kind of gonna go like as they came out. I also thought it was really interesting, and for perspective on you, I know when you're kind of like, oh, nothing's working for me, I do want to let you know that Canva, before it became like Canva, was rejected by hundreds of investors who didn't believe that Canva was going to go anywhere. Can you believe that? That's probably like $1 million mistake now, like looking in hindsight. But I almost wish like that there was an emerging Canva that I could be like, yes, I want to invest in this, because I'm sure all those people in the early days. But even aside from that, just letting you know that even the biggest companies, the biggest names that you know, also started with a lot of no's. That is completely normal. So if you're like, wow, Canva is so successful, just like any other success, it took a lot of blood, sweat, tears, hard work, and hustle to get where they are today. And like I mentioned, the point of Canva is to be a design tool for non-designers and to help get you from a blank page to a finished design even easier before. And that's why a lot of these new features are coming out. So Magic Write, like I had mentioned, is now available across the entire visual suite. So if you need help with copywriting a flyer, a poster, a social media post, you can use this feature on all of their different design templates that they have. Magic Write is also available in 21 languages. So if you operate in a couple different languages, or maybe you write in one language and you need to translate into another language. I'm thinking a lot about like tour operators here. Like maybe they're like an Italian tour operator was probably going to think firsthand in Italian and then want to translate that into English for their English speaking advisors that they work with. So it's just really cool. And that can even be you. Like maybe you are a Spanish speaker, travel advisor, and you want to have the same flyer written up but in two different languages. Magic Write can help assist with that. Or not Magic Write necessarily, but there is Translate. So that was one of the new features that's available now is Translate, and it's available in 21 different languages. One of the big features that I am super excited about, and it still even seems like it's a little bit in beta because you have to do a little bit of working to find it, is called Magic Design. And I tested it, and I can't wait to utilize this at some point. Essentially, you pop in. So what you're going to do is go to canva.com/magic-design. And once you're there, you can hit the button that says Try Magic Design. And it's going to put a little pop-up and you're going to press Try It Out again. Now this could change in the future again, I think because it's still in the beta formatting and they're still testing everything out. And that's what you need to be mindful of. All of these new features, or most of these new features that I'm talking about, are brand new. So they are not picture perfect, but they are constantly working on improving and getting them there. So once you're on the Magic Design area, you're going to be able to insert media. So this can be a picture, this can be a video. So upload whatever it is. So I am currently, you're not seeing this, you're hearing me. But so I uploaded a short 10-second video clip of something that I took while I was on the river cruise. It has given me 6 plus, there's more, there's probably about 10 designs of multiple different things of how I can use that video. It can be a story, it can be an Instagram post, not necessarily an Instagram reel, but a Instagram post that has the video. They put it into a book cover. It can be just a plain Instagram post. But it is so cool how instead of usually you have to find a template, find the image that you want. So it's kind of cool that now you're going to be able to create a design based on whatever media. So based on whatever photo or video you give Canva for this. You can also adjust different things. So if you wanted a different vibe, minimalist, an animation, fancy, an aesthetic, professional. You want it in a table, feminine, gold. There's also pick a style. So different colors and different font families. You should be able to at some point also be able to pick from your fonts, but that's currently not a feature. Again, it's in beta. And then you can also change the headline. So if you don't put in a headline, let me say this is a river cruise. So I want the headline to be Sailing the Rivers. And I can add it to the results. So it's automatically going to have that Sailing the Rivers as the headline for all of the images, as opposed to whatever it just auto-generates here. I think this is one of the features that I am super psyched for, and I cannot wait for them to work out even more of the kinks, because it just makes things, this is going to make things just so much easier. Especially you're okay, this is a really great shot that I took while I was on a fam trip. I need to make this into a post, and the fact that there are multiple post options, because you want to put it on a story, you want to be able to put it on a reel, you want to be able to put it as just a regular post. It is fantastic in my opinion. So that is Magic Design. The other thing that is similar to Magic Design is called Magic Presentation. And I tested Magic Presentation out. And holy cannoli. So it creates engaging and rich presentations based on whatever you need. So again, it is AI, artificial intelligence, for presentations. So let's say you needed to present the benefits of hosting a river cruise to a wine group. You could input that information on a Blake presentation, and Canva will create a presentation based off of that, meaning that it's going to give you some sample slides, some sample stock images, it's going to give you some sample copy, and then you can edit that in any which way that you'd like. So I even tested this for promoting a group cruise to Alaska, and like it gave me the image of, the Alaskan wilderness, it gave me the image of a whale tail in the ocean. It was talking about the different benefits of going to Alaska. It also gave you ideas of things that you should bring up within the presentation. So again, like working smarter, not harder. Now I do believe that this is, again, like you're not going to take it full on, but it is a better starting point to work with these types of AI things instead of completely starting from rock bottom, which is what I appreciate about these advances in technology. It does have different style suggestions based on color, so you can pick your brand colors in this one. And then it does have different layout suggestions. So maybe the first layout, like how everything is set up that popped up, really isn't your style or doesn't correlate with your brand. You have a couple of different options that you're able to work with. All right, then they also came up with something called Draw, which is if you use the whiteboard feature, I think this is going to be super beneficial to you, / if you use Canva on a tablet. I don't really see myself using it that much right now on a laptop, but I feel like, whiteboard really was created to be able to collaborate, and you'll notice that some of these features are really to help you collaborate with teams within like your own team or with other teams. And so you can, even if you wanted to kind of like freehand sketch something on a presentation or whatever it is that you're designing in Canva. So Draw is a really cool new feature if you wanted to just draw something yourself. Canva Assistant now is going to be available across like everything. Canva Assistant, you'll notice that there's a circle button on the bottom right hand corner with like those purpley-ish color stars, and it is pretty much your easy access to utilizing something like Magic Write and Magic Design. So that's also just something handy dandy to note. I mentioned Translate, that they have Translate available now. The other one, which I think is a really cool feature, this one, as I was testing it out, I feel is like in super beta mode. They are definitely going to have to work out the kinks with this, but it is called Text to Image. How you're going to get to it is you're going to go to Apps in Canva, create something new, and then click Text to Image. If you are trying to look for a specific image that is in your mind about something, you are going to be able to write that image via text, and the AI is going to be able to generate the image based on what you've input. And so I wrote to make me a picture of a dolphin swimming in pink water. And this is where I'm like, it's a little glitchy, so it's not totally there. But it popped up images with a dolphin with like a streak of pink in the water, but not totally pink water. So what was really cool, because I was kind of like playing with it, and then I was like, okay, let me get a little bit serious about how we can use this for like travel industry. And so I said, pretty much make me an image of a river cruise in Paris. The graphic images that it created were like spot on. They looked very reminiscent of some of the stock images that you see from like suppliers. Now, again, not perfect, but I was like, wow. If you are needing like a graphic, graphic is different than photo. I'm going to like put that out there too, but it was a beautiful graphic. of like you see a river ship on the Seine River with the Eiffel Tower in the background and some greenery all around. Now, when I say that this is like kind of like the downfall with AI too, because one of the images that popped up was of an ocean cruise ship on the river on the Seine. And we all know that the river ships are totally different. And so that's why there's a word of caution of using artificial intelligence, because it's not going to get everything right. So if you think you can just use AI with everything without having to like source and kind of like comb through things, that's wrong. That's incorrect. You're still going to have to do some work, but at least it does give you, again, a leg up. So that is text to image. Then there is magic edit and magic erase on images. So magic edit, so let's say you have an image or you've selected an image that has blue flowers and you don't want the flowers to be blue, you actually want them to be roses. You're going to essentially highlight / color over the blue flowers and tell the magic edit, hey, I want those to be roses, and then it will pop up with a rose instead. So I tried this out a couple different times. There was like a fruit plate and I was replacing pineapple with honeydew and it was alright-ish. Then I found another stock image where there was a croissant on a plate, and so I kind of highlighted and covered the croissant. And I said, put in a blueberry muffin instead. And it gave me a couple different options of blueberry muffins. And I was super impressed with that. And I mean, how many times have we seen like images pop up and they look like the near perfect image that we need to be utilizing for whatever project it is that we're creating, but just one thing is off. So it's really cool that this feature is coming. And again, I'm sure they will be adjusting it so it becomes even a better version of some of the tests that have been running now. But super exciting that that's even an option.
Your travel business is unique and individual to you, your needs, and your clients' needs, which means your marketing strategy needs to be the same. If you're done trying every marketing tactic out there with no avail, then it's time to join us in Marketing Business School. A community of your fellow peers is waiting to support you in your entrepreneurial journey. Receive a monthly marketing education session from yours truly, along with a process party to finally work on those workflows and SOPs, and a Tech Talk Q&A session. To get in on the action, head on over to travelbiztraining.com to enroll today.
I feel like something like that is typically reserved for like more advanced, like maybe an Adobe editor or Photoshop or something like that. So for it to be available in Canva is just fantastic for us beginners / newbies / not trained or don't have like that aesthetic towards graphic design that we can semi be graphic designers now. On that same vein, there's something called magic erase, where magic background that is in Canva. So if you like have a picture of yourself and you want to remove the background, you can do that. Well, now there's also magic erase. So one of the examples that they showed us was like that there's a girl dancing, but there's birds behind her. And maybe you don't want to see the birds that are behind her. So you, again, kind of like take that highlighter part, color all the birds, and then click of a button, and the birds are removed from the image. So again, like that feature is somewhat available now, like on our phones, on some people's phones, so that you can remove that pesky person in the background that you didn't want there anymore. So it's really cool that something like that is also coming to Canva. There is create and animate. So if you happen wanting to animate some of your posts or just add like animations to any presentations, you're going to be able to do that now in Canva. And so like if you wanted, like you had a graphic of like a smiley face and you kind of like wanted it bouncing down or bouncing around or whatever, you tell Canva exactly what you want it to do and kind of like describe the shape, and you can make that happen, create and animate. One of the features that I thought was like super exciting for me, as I do create a lot of short form vertical video with audio in Canva, is beat sync, where it will match the images and videos with the sound. I tested it out. I couldn't really tell like where the beats and the changes and all that were happening. So I think I just need to test it out a little bit more. I think, again, these are all new features, so they're not going to be perfect, but they're getting there. So that's something that I feel like has huge potential, especially like when you're wanting transitions to happen on the beat and all that. Beat sync, I think, is going to be really pivotal at some point in the future. And then if you do work with a virtual assistant, marketing assistant, somebody that helps you out in designing things for your company, they have rolled out something called Brand Hub. So you know, or you should know if you've been using Canva for a while, and especially if you have premium, that they have a brand kit feature, and you can actually have up to 300 brand kits in your Canva account. So Brand Hub is kind of like supercharging that. So it's going to make things so much easier for your team, and especially collaborating with others, because your brand kit includes what are all your brand ingredients: fonts, colors, logos, icons. You can now also add brand guidelines. So if you've worked with a professional branding strategist, that gives you like that multi-page document of you're supposed to use this logo during this time, but don't use it with this and don't mix it with this colors. Now you can add all that information as your brand guidelines into Canva so that whoever's working with you can see those brand guidelines in there instead of having to refer to the document directly. There are also brand folders where you can store templates and controls. So if there is a template that you always use because you host a podcast every week and that's just the graphic that you use every week and you just update it with the title and all that, you can add this to a brand folder so whoever's on your team will know that this is the asset that they need to use and update and tweak. Similarly, there are brand controls. So to kind of make sure there's congruency within your brand, instead of having somebody on your team like have access to like be able to do whatever they want, essentially it locks in like you can only use certain colors, you can only use certain fonts and all that. And it also includes approvals. So if whatever document or whatever it is your assistant or whoever it is on your team is working on, if that has to go to you to approve that it can be posted or it can be printed or whatever it is, you can add that feature now in too. A huge thing that I think is going to be the biggest of game changers for a lot of people is that you are going to be able to import things from other platforms. So if it's a Google Doc, if it's a PowerPoint presentation, you're now going to be able to import those things and edit them within Canva. And they said that this also includes PDFs. I'm like, especially like if you have Photoshop kind of docs and let's say somebody else made something within Photoshop, but you don't use Photoshop, you're now going to be able to edit that within Canva with this new imports feature. Again, I think I feel like a huge game changer, because I know at least I have wanted to adapt different PDFs and files like that into either like my own brand colors and fonts, and not being able to do that because of it being a PDF file and not being able to adjust that. So super cool there. Then there is also a template assistant, and I didn't really write too much information. I think template assistant really is that you can now create templates for things like I kind of mentioned a couple minutes ago, and it will also give you a heads up like, hey, this template that you finished or this design that you finished, this color is actually not your brand color. Would you like us to adjust it to this brand color? So that is template assistant. I feel is kind of like an assistant back pocket that you have to be like, hey, just a heads up, you can publish it like this, but it doesn't line up with some of these things that you already have in your brand hub. There was already the ability to like resize images. So if you wanted to use something as a reel, but a Facebook post, but a LinkedIn post and all that, and all those things require different sizing, pixel sizing, you could do that. They had that option if you had the premium version of Canva to do that. So they were reminding us of those features and of bulk create. So if you wanted to create in the like 10 posts in the same style, but with different images or with different text, you can do that. And that helps speed you up. Again, it helps you work smarter, not harder. They are now adding something called grids, which has been like a feature that a lot of people have been asking for, just to help make sure that things are in the right place, especially spatially. There is also gradients, which I think is going to be a super fun feature. Gradients is going to be like an ombre kind of feature. So if you've wanted to ombre, if you don't know what ombre is, so let's say you have in your brand colors, you have blue, green, and yellow. And you just didn't want the blue, green, and yellow to be solid. You kind of like wanted them kind of like to fade into one another. That's kind of what a gradient does. It helps like the colors fade in. Not like they're mixed in one another, but just instead of a solid line, there's like that fadey line in between. And then there are also layers. So you know when you're working on a project and you have to like bring something to backwards or forwards depending on where you want it and what you want in the back or front, meaning like fonts or backgrounds or shapes or anything like that. Now there's also going to be an additional tool called layers to help you layer things out, meaning like, okay, the background is supposed to be in the back and this headline text is supposed to be up front. So in addition to still being able to do the to back to front and all that, you're going to be able to access layers. And then last but not least, if you have been wanting more types, font types in Canva, they have partnered with Monotype, so there will be over 1,000 fonts, and I guess there currently are 1,000 fonts available that you can utilize for your brand or branding needs. Woo! Alrighty, so that is a huge recap on all things that are happening over at Canva. Let me know what questions that you might have. Please strike up a conversation in the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur group on Facebook. That is it for me this week. So I will hopefully either see you this weekend in Vegas, or I'll see you on the Facebook group, or I'll see you inside a marketing business school. Have a great one.
Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. Remember to check out the show notes for all relevant links and resources from today's show. See you next time.